For health research, PubMed is a good database. It's the US Library of Medicine. So I went in there and I typed in hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos and gastro, and then I read a couple papers, and this one does a review of a bunch of research that's been done and lists a lot of the symptoms. And then this one is the same as well. Before I read this, I had no idea that lacerations or ripping of the genitals during intercourse is a symptom of hypermobile EDS. Growing up at first, I always thought, like, we always say, like, oh, we were doing it all night long, I could barely walk, oh, I'm so sore, ha ha ha. But you really actually shouldn't be sore after that. You shouldn't feel pain after you do stuff, unless you're consenting to and doing it intentionally with that purpose. I was under the impression that the reason that my labia minora is ripped is because they extend out and are like a unique shape, so they are fragile. Yeah, no one really thought that made any sense. And people sent me pics of what they were packing, and it was a lot more than I was packing, and I was like, well then, why the fuck? And the two gynos that I saw it about they were like, here's some gabapentin, like maybe you're just super sensitive because your butthole hurts all the time. But that didn't make sense to me because the skin rips. And the craziest thing, I went to the gynecologist, I boinked before the gynecologist so I could show her what I was talking about, and I have tears. It's right below the clitoris rex. And I was telling her, and I explained it to her, and she's like, okay. I read her report, no mention of any of it. She said didn't seem to be any problems with it. And I'm like, can she not see what I see? Because if that was the case, I would have like gotten a mirror and I would have we would have had a hole. You would have, the same way the gastro told me I don't have any hemorrhoids. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can see them. And then the last doctor that I went to said, oh, those are now skin tags from the scar tissue from the healed hemorrhoid. I'm like, well, I would have loved to know that from the gastro. But it just is very interesting because I, as someone who loves to research, I spend 99% of my life researching what I'm going to do and 0% of time doing it. And someone who's very introspective and hyper aware of their body and surroundings and stuff like that, even me, it blows my mind that there's so many things going on in my body that you just think are normal. You just think everybody else is like that. Even though I'm the person who usually enlightens people. Like, I'm the one telling people things about their body that they're like, oh my God. But the one gynecologist referred me to the expert in the field of vulva reconstruction. And he didn't mention anything to do with this. It's so hard to even explain to a doctor what pain is. It's so subjective, especially when you've had it for this long.